The 12th of December, Rabbi Levitt, Gemorrah.
Sorry. That's right. Yeah. All right.
Okay, so basically, we're seeing over here that there's two opposing views over here. Without getting into the names, let's just try to understand the svara over here. Rashi is explaining that in the case where we say Kosev Nechosav Lebeno, when he's writing his property to his son, that's going to not be judged the same way as the case of when the mother, who's the wife of a husband, writes the Niksei Malug to her son during her lifetime, obviously, and during the marriage to her present husband. What's the difference? Oh, and this all has this all is in the backdrop of this principle that we've been discussing of Niksei, rather Kinyan Peros ke Kinyan Haguf Dami. Do we say that when a person has an acquisition to receive the produce of property, is that regarded as though he has an acquisition in the property itself? And the nafkamina will be whether or not the person who has deeded the property, will he be able to sell the property in his lifetime, even if he predeceases the one who deeded him the property. And so Rashi is explaining over here, this long Rashi was explaining a svara, why these two cases are different, according to one view. According to the other view, this svara doesn't make any difference. It all depends on whether we say kinyan aperis is kinyan aguf. But this svara that we've been discussing, that Rashi says, is even if one says that the acquisition of the produce is tantamount to having an acquisition in the property itself, nevertheless, that in the case where the person who's deeding the property, the father, to the recipient is an inheritor of his, it's his son. So then Rashi explains, according to this opinion, we say, well, surely the intention of the father in deeding the property to the son before he or the son passes away is for none other than the ability of the son to have a present interest in the property, to be able to sell it to a purchaser, even before he gets any interest in receiving the produce to the property. And the svara goes like his intention, because if his intention was simply to say that I want my son to get my property only after when I pass away, so then the father doesn't need to deed him any document whatsoever in order for the son to get that, because that's going to go like that because the son is an inheritor. And the Hilchos Yerusha say that the son is going to get the property when he passes away, when the father passes away. So if that was the only thing that the father wanted to accomplish with the writing this document, then he didn't need to write the document at all. So we say, according to this view, that no, that the reason that he wrote the document is because he wants the son to even have an interest and an ability right now in the property to be able to sell it right now. So therefore, even though we would say that the halacha is that kinyan Paris is kinyan aguf, and normally, when the recipient of the gift is not a relative, we would say that he would not be able to sell it in the lifetime of the donor, because the one who has a present interest in the produce of the property is able to prevent him from doing so, because it's regarded as though he has the interest in the property itself. And so therefore, in the case, the case of the father deeding to the son, the son will be able to sell it to a purchaser, even if we say that kinyan Paris is kinyan aguf. And if so then we have no proof from the Mishnah there that the Mishnah holds kinyan Paris kinyan aguf. And if so then we come to the case of the mother deeding the nixei malug to the son, and we say, well, really, the halacha is kinyan Paris is kinyan aguf, and therefore the mother is not able. She doesn't have the power to transfer it to the son, because the husband is the owner of the peros of the nixei malug, the produce, and therefore he's regarded as being an owner of the nixei malug themselves, and therefore the mother would not be able to deed the property to the son in her lifetime, and therefore if she predeceases the husband, so then the husband will inherit her, because the son does not inherit the. That would be the opinion of Rav Yehuda, who argues with Rav Yirmiyah Ba'aba. That's where we're holding right now.
Good.
Good.
Thank you.
So in other words,
And
the reason that we say that even though we hold kinyan haperos kinyan aguf, in the case of the son, he can sell it. It's because he is the inheritor of the father. And therefore we say that the father had no reason to write the document except that the son should be able to sell it.
yeah,
Whereas in the case of the woman, the mother, since the son is not an inheritor of her, we say that we don't have any evidence to say that the reason she wrote the document was that so that he could sell it.
right. She didn't.
He wrote the document
in other words,
that he could inherit
yeah.
it because he's not necessarily going to inherit it. So that's the reason. That's the main becomes the main reason.
Yeah, so it would come out that the according to this view, the gift that the mother gave to the son would only be operative in the event that her husband predeceases her. So like that, he's not going to inherit her, and like that, her deed to the son will and it'll work. It will work. Oh, now I got myself into a problem. When is he going to get it? He's going to get it when the mother passes away, or when the husband passes away. Okay, I'm not sure about that. but for purposes of our discussion, that's not that does make a difference. But the point is only in that event will the son get the property, because we can't prove that the mother had intention for the son to. That's why she wrote the document, because in any case he's going to inherit her. No, he's not going to inherit her. So maybe she just wrote the document so that in the event that there is no one to that the husband is not around to inherit her, so she'll give it to the son. That's how it was going to work, according to that. So that was the whole machlokes over there between Rav Yirmiyah bar Abba and Rav Yehuda. Rav Yirmiyah bar Abba was the one who the son went to, and he said that the son should be able to take it from the father, the Niksei Malug. And Rabbi Yehuda, when he was told about this case, he said he said that the father's really the one who's entitled to it at this point, that his wife has passed away, because he's the inheritor of his wife. And the son never acquired it in the mother's lifetime, because the husband was holding the right to receive the produce. And if we say Niksei, Kinyan Aperis is Kniksei, Kinyan Aperis is Kinyan Aguf, so that would mean that the husband really is regarded as the owner of the property, and his wife from selling the property during the time that he's receiving the produce to the property.
And conversely, if we say Kinyan Aperus lo Kinyan Haguf, then in both cases, the son can sell it.
Correct. And that was where Rav Yirmiyah bar Abba, he understood that there was no difference between these two cases, and so that's why he was the one who said, "Oh, I know a Mishnah, the Mishnah which talks about the father deeding to the son and holding back the right to receive the produce to the land for the father's lifetime." Rabbi Yirmiyah bar Abba used that as a proof to prove the correctness of his decision in the case with the mother and the son and the husband, because he held that there was no difference, and he held therefore that Mishnah was a proof that since you see the purchaser gets it, it must be that Kinyan Aperis, Kinyan Aguf. So to that, Rabbi Yehuda says, no, it's not a proof whatsoever. Those are two different cases. So, Eino Doimel the Mishnah Seinu. This case is not comparable to that case. And that's the whole, and the reason for that is because of this svara that we've been saying about the difference when the recipient is an heir of the donor. And Rav Yirmiyah bar Abba held that was not any that was irrelevant. That's not going to make any difference. The only reason that it says in the Mishnah that the purchaser acquires was from the son who got the deed from the father, even though the father retained the right to receive the produce, is because the right to receive the produce is not at all regarded as the right to the land itself, and therefore the son who was deeded the property in his father's lifetime is able to sell it to a third party, because we say Kinyan Aperis is lav Kinyan Aguf. Owning the right to receive the produce is not regarded as owning the property itself. Okay. So, should we go weiter? Amalei Abaye. Now, where is Amalei Abaye?
88B3, left-hand column, second paragraph.
Okay, very good. Getting close to finishing this Amud. Roy, would you like to read for us?
Okay, thank you. Omerle Abaya. Abaya said to Rav Yosef, Atu Baro Yoris Ava. Why does a son inherit a father? Ava lo Yoris Bara, and the father does not inherit the son. Elo la'averu hinhu linchep say mibarei ka ati. Rather, you must mean that if the Mishnah had stated the reverse case, would have said that by writing away his possessions to his father, the son was coming to keep the possessions away from his own son. And there's therefore no indication that he wished his father to have special rights to sell the possessions. Most of that was put in by ArtScroll. Ocha nami la'avru chinhu linik say marachua ato ati. I see. Here, too, then the Mishnah's actual case, we can say that the father was coming to keep the possessions away from the brothers of this son, so that the transfer to the son does not. A whole lot of here from the ArtScroll. So his transfer to the son does not indicate any granting of special rights to him to sell the possessions. The Mishnah thus implies that ownership of produce is not tantamount to ownership of the essence. The question therefore returns, what did Shmuel mean when he stated that the sale by a wife of her malog property is not analogous to our Mishnah? The Gemorrah therefore presents another explanation of Shmuel's statement.
Okay. Okay, so now we have to. Well, let's just read the. Let's just read the Rashi over here. Let's read the Rashi.
So why did Abaya put that question? Did he just say it as a matter of interest, or was it to do with something?
Okay, so the reason why Abaya is saying what he's saying over here is that he's attempting to refute the explanation that we have just said from Rabbi Yosef. Rabbi Yosef was the one that gave us this whole explanation with the difference between the father and the difference between the cases when the Mishnah talks about the case where the father deeded to the son, as opposed to a case that is the opposite direction, where the son deeded to the father.
Mm-hmm.
And then he came up with this whole explanation about the fact that there's an essential difference between them, because the son is the one who's going to inherit the father, and therefore everything that we said previously. And this was all to explain, by the way, the words of Shmuel, because Rav Yehuda invoke the words of Shmuel. Rav Yehuda is the one that disagrees with Rav Yerba Abba. He says that in the case of the wife deeding the property to the son, he says that the father who outlived his wife is going to be the one to get the next day malug, and the son's not going to get anything. And so when he was told about what Rabbi Yerba Abba said, that he's got a proof that the son should get it based upon the Mishnah, he quoted the words of Shmuel, that Shmuel said, "Oh, so eno dama le Mishnah seinu." That's not comparable to the case of the Mishnah. And I heard from the translation of the art scroll that they understand that what that means is, Zo is referring to the case of the mother deeding to the son. That case is not comparable to the case of our Mishnah, meaning our Mishnah Mamish of the father deeding to the son. Because why? Because it seems like according to Abaye is saying just like a son inherits his father, so too a father, lo aleinu, the halacha gives him the Yerusha from his son. So that whole distinction falls apart.
Wait, I thought we said
So
that,
therefore he's
I thought we said no, that the father doesn't inherit from the son.
That's what we said according to Rav Yosef. That was his before Abaye spoke. We were everything that we said on Thursday was the words of Rav Yosef. Rav Yosef was coming to explain the words of Shmuel. That Zo eno doma le Mishnah seinu. This case is not similar to the case of our Mishnah. And Rav Yosef explained that there's a big difference between if the father deeds to the son than if the deeds to the father. He said because the son inherits the father. The implication was that the father does not inherit the son.
Right.
And now Abaye is coming along, and he's saying to Rav Yosef, he's saying that what is he saying? Otu bara yoris abba? Is it in fact the case that only, that is the way you have to read the words. It doesn't say anywhere in these words only. It means Otu bara yoris abba. Does it is it in fact so that the son inherits the father? Yes, it is. That is true. But he means to say he's the only inheritor over here between the two of them. Abaye maintains Abba lo yoris bara. It's a rhetorical question. Is it so that the father does not inherit the son? In fact, if that was so, that he would not inherit the son. So in any case, without getting into all the intricacies over here, but that's what he's saying. Is it so that the father does not inherit the son? That only the son inherits the father? The implication is, maybe Rashi will explain us a little bit more. That no, on the contrary, see where the father also inherits the son. And if so, then the distinction that Rabbi Yosef drew between those two cases has no basis. And if so, then the whole foundation of his whole explanation of Shmuel has been undercut.
I'm confused by that because my English after it says a father does not inherit the son as a rhetorical question, it says rather the son was coming to keep the possessions away from his own son. That seems to me to mean that the fact is that the father doesn't inherit the son, but rather the grandson inherits the son. And therefore, the reason that the son is writing the deed to his father is to keep his son, the grandson, from getting it.
Well, okay, so even though both the grandson and the father are inheritors of the son, but who's between the two of them? If the grandson is alive, he's going to inherit his father, the son.
Right.
So that's what Abai is saying. Rather than the svara that Rabbi Yosef suggested, the essential distinction between the father and the son, that the son inherits the father, but the father does not inherit the son. Rather than that, Abai suggests another reason why the two cases are not comparable. And so that's the reason that he's suggesting over here to Lavruchinu L'Nikse Mibrei Ka'asi. He's trying to prevent the son from getting the property. The son is trying to prevent the grandson from getting the property. That's why he deeded his property to the father. And if so, then the Gemorrah continues, Hachanami, here as well, in the case of the Mishnah. Labruchino L'Nikse Me'achua Osi. Oh, the father is deeding it to the son. Now this needs explanation. From his brother, it doesn't mean the brother of the father. It means, I guess, the brother of the son.
Right. The English says that the father, in deeding to the son, is trying to keep the brothers of the son from getting it.
He wants to favor one son over the other ones.
Right.
So therefore, he wants this to be accomplished specifically in the lifetime of this son. That's his primary intent. And so therefore, even if it would be true that Niksei that Kinyan Perus is yes Kinyan Aguf, but over here the father has a particular reason why he wants that the son should have it right now. That's basically what we're trying to do over here. We're trying to say that even though it may be true that the one who holds the right to receive the produce generally is able to prevent the donor from the recipient rather of the gift of the property from selling it to a third party, even though that's generally true, that the one that holds the right to the produce is able to prevent the one that received the gift of the property. But there are certain cases where that was not the intention of the donor. He wanted even though the payers is in the hand of somebody else, maybe himself even, but nevertheless he wants the recipient to get that right to have it right now and to be able to do with it what he wants right now. and all Shmuel has done, not Shmuel, all Abaya has done is to disprove Rav Yosef's reason and to offer his own reason.
No, I think Abaye is saying that it's not so that he can do what he wants right now. It's in order to change the nature of the inheritance.
Okay. It's not so much that he wants the son to be able to do with it what he wants right now, but rather that he doesn't want the other ones that would get it to get it.
Right. So it's like the case where the son gives to the father in order to keep it away from his son, the grandson.
Yeah, okay. Let's take a look see what we have. Oh, we don't have too much time for Rashi now.
Yeah, it's
All right.
12:29.
Okay, very good. So we'll see the Rashis tomorrow, Bezos Hashem.
Amen. Thank you, Rabbi.
Thank you.
Okay, all the best. Everybody have a great day.
Okay,
You too. Be
Lou and
well.
Roy.
And try that computer back.
Oh.
Amen.
Yeah, okay. Very good.
All right. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.